Alright, I guess we should probably bring up the Destiny 2 topic. It's almost that time of year. Now, Destiny 2 has always been a fond game in my heart. I've played it over the course of 10 years. I've enjoyed it through those 10 years. And it's just getting to the point where I'm playing less and less each year. Where I'm just not as interested in any of the content anymore. And it's a sad thing for me to say. I love it with all my heart, but, you know, it's just time. I think most of us copium addicted Destiny 2 players find other paths, you know? There's other games out there that we need to start playing and start realizing that Destiny 2 is just not ever going to be fixed. And, yeah, I guess this video is why Destiny 2 will be dead soon. And that's my prediction. Now, just getting straight into the video, Destiny has always had rocky years. We know this. Everyone who's played Destiny over the course of the couple years knows that Destiny has highs and lows, and typically, it's big expansion releases like Forsaken, and then we get a Shadowkeep. And now the game's looking a little rocky, things are being questioned. Oh, they just parted ways with Activision, you know, not meeting sale numbers, and so on. But you know, other than Shadowkeep, then there comes Beyond Light, a little bit of rocky release, but at least it's something new, something fresh. And then we get something like The Witch Queen, amazing. And then we get a Lightfall. Why couldn't I remember that? But yeah, after The Witch Queen, it's Lightfall. Lightfall, pretty shit expansion, I think, over the course of that whole year. It's just overall terrible, bad characters. I think we all know this. But, yeah. Destiny definitely gets rocky years, but I think the Final Shape was a really good year. Probably one of the highest peaks for Destiny 2. But it's just sadly not enough. And that's what I was worried with coming up to Destiny 2 Final Shape. There was a lot of issues I had with Destiny beforehand that were impossible for the Final Shape to fix, because I think it would require many years of fixing. Stuff like buggy issues with the hitboxes on enemies still being able to one-shot you if you get too close to a failing shield. Things like bad weapon balancing. Every year there's always one that just is king over everything, and almost nothing else is even comparable. And then you're that one guy doing 1,000,000 damage, and then everyone else is doing 4,000,000 damage. Never fun. You know, and these metas have been showcased with the current Still Hunt meta. I know it was recently nerfed with Golden Gun, but obviously it was king with Golden Gun. And even without the, what's it called? Nighthawk helmet, you're still doing a shit ton more damage than everyone else in the fire team. Still Hunt is just, and it's a special weapon, it's just obviously the go-to pick. And then there was metas like the Anarchy meta with breach grenade launchers, and there was also the Starfire protocol. And don't even get me started with PvP balancing, you know, and just overall, the game's balancing is fucking terrible, and it's always been terrible, and it's never gonna get fixed. There's always YouTubers like Asdacros, like Dado Does Destiny, like fucking Fallout Plays that make easy, simple ways of just saying, this is broken, this needs nerfed, and Bungie just never listens, you know? And unfortunately, I do think it's a leadership issue, but if it's a leadership issue now, it'll be a leadership issue next year, and the year after, and the year after that. It's just gonna be terrible, you know? I also think that live services are slowly dying. You know, you see a bunch of those videos on YouTube where, you know, it's the sad state of live service, or how live service is taking over, all those type of documentary style videos. I truly believe live service are slowly dying out. It's very hard to make a game last more than 3, maybe even 4 years, unless you struck gold, you know, or you struck the diamonds, like with a League of Legends MOBA, you know. But most of these games, like World of Warcraft, like League of Legends, like Overwatch to some extent, like Team Fortress 2, they have all been around for a decade or close to a decade, you know. They've been around for a long time, so having a startup now is very, very hard to have that game last a couple years, you know. There are some promising ones coming out, but it's just hard. And I know Destiny's been around for a while, but I just don't think it's competing with any big game anymore. You know what I mean? Like, Destiny 2, in my opinion, still has the best gunplay I've ever played in any first-person shooter, and I'll stand by that. I think the guns in the game feel amazing. I just think that there's a problem with everything else other than the gunplay. There's balancing problems, there's lore problems sometimes. Personally, I don't mind the lore, but I understand they've had to retcon a lot of things, whatever. I'm not too picky with that. But the balancing, the class system, it just makes no sense. Like, why do we have 3 classes anymore? There's almost no point in having 3 classes, and it'd make more sense if they just made 1 class and they made you be able to run all the supers. You know what I mean? That way you don't have to fucking use Warlock Glide if you're normally maining Titan, but you have to be Warlock because no one's running well, or whatever, right? It's just, too many things have been awkward for so long that now it's just blatantly bad, my personal opinion. And I think the Destiny hype is pretty much just a bunch of people who currently play Destiny 2 wanting the next year of Destiny 2 to be good. And it's just unfortunate that I just don't think it's the case anymore, you know, especially with all these rumors, with the layoffs, even more layoffs than they previously had, which concerns me. Now, it doesn't concern me as much as a lot of people, because I do think layoffs are valid. There are a lot of shit employees that don't do work. I understand people's sort of kickback with that, saying that, you know, buying certain amount of things, oh, you're spending like, you know, 2 million on cars, but you're not going to spend 2 million on, you know, years of salaries for a bunch of people. I understand that argument, but I'm just saying that there are shit employees that either don't work as they're paid, you know, they're just shit employees, basically. They're lazy, they don't do anything, they're not working for the company's goals, stuff like that, and they need to be laid off. Otherwise, you're going to have them befriend a bunch of people in the company, and then it starts, you know, spreading like wildfire, just a bunch of people being lazy. That's how I think retail has been so fucked, where there's just so many lazy people in retail now. I am currently one of them, just saying. Anyways, you know, don't tell my boss. Anyways, but yeah, so I think layoffs are valid. But the no Destiny 3 is a crazy thing I've been seeing go around. Now, I don't think it was from an official interview or anything. I think it's just from the Destiny leak guy, who's right about 99% of the time. And I've, you know, seen Dato's video a little bit on it. The no D3 thing is kind of crazy to me. If you're not planning on making a new game with an updated engine, I have no idea how the game is going to survive at all. There are a lot of problems with the engine itself that are clear they just can't fix. Whether it be objectives, whether it be the size of the content, whether it be certain implementations of content, they just can't do what they need to be doing with the game. Great example is that they're going to be sunsetting more things. That's just going to happen. And if they aren't sunsetting now, the stuff that was already sunset should still be in the game. Just as an example, Leviathan, all the old raids, they should still be in the game. I understand they might take up 5 gigabytes each, right? But those old raids, there's such a big audience for raids in Destiny, and it's arguably the most unique thing about Destiny, having those 6-man raids, that all of them should be in the game, no excuses. Why the fuck aren't they revised in the game already? It's literally been a couple of years since the sunsetting happened. And on top of that, there's a rumor that I've been hearing. Some people are saying Leviathan is going to be the next raid brought back next year instead of Wrath of the Machine. Personally, I think it's Wrath of the Machine. If they are even alive during next year. But I'm getting very, very fucking concerned with their ability to produce content. Their content now is the same as it's always been. We get a story, we get a cool mission, and granted, the story has been better. Like, I think Final Shape was better than Witch Queen, personally, as far as story goes. I think the difficulty was better. I think the missions were better. I think the character development was better. I thought the dual destiny mission was cool. I thought the destination was cool, way better than Witch Queen's. But the issue is, none of this is really new. It's just better than what it was, which is good, but it's not good enough anymore, you know? And I think in order to fix that, you need something to happen with the engine, either to make improvements on what's currently around, or it needs to just be a whole new engine, you know? Like, Unreal 5 seems to be the meta as far as you know, making a good game environment and everything. And I just don't think Destiny's, I think Havoc engine, I want to say, isn't able to keep up with something like Unreal 5. And I think that's going to be a big problem if Destiny is around for another couple years, you know? Then there's the rumor of no annual expansions. Fair, fine, okay, sure. Which basically just means every year they're not doing another $60 DLC, right? That would be a W if I wasn't concerned that there's going to be a smaller team, they're working on a different game, and they're basically slowly, like, cutting ties with Destiny 2 when they come out with this marathon game, you know? And I'm very concerned that this no annual expansion just means we'll get a DLC akin to Curse of Osiris, but for free. And I'll be honest, listen, I like the free content idea, but it's not enough it's not enough as is for $60, let alone it being enough for free. You know what I mean? If they can't get it right with $60, I can't imagine a world where they get it right for free with less team and another game being pushed instead of Destiny 2. But no doubt they'll probably drop a really cool trailer, probably drop like a really cool class ability or something, and people will play the game. I just don't think it's going to be hundreds of thousands. I think it'll be tens of thousands, and then the year after. So in 2026, I think we're looking at a 10k average for our 10k peak for Destiny 2, if they allow the servers up that long. I'm concerned because we haven't heard anything about raids. Destiny has been very close-lipped the past few years about content and everything going on, and at this point, I don't even think it's because they want it to be new and like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this without telling anyone. That's crazy, you know, in a good way. I think at this point, it's just they don't know what's coming next. They genuinely don't. The head leadership doesn't care, and the people developing it are probably being told, okay, work on Leviathan, you know, maybe a couple weeks in. Alright, now you're working on fucking Wrath of the Machine or whatever the fuck, right? I think they just have no communication amongst themselves, and then they have no communication to tell the players of what's coming next, you know? And I'm getting concerned because I'm not hearing any sort of revisited raids. Like, at this rate, we're looking at, in, what, like 2030, we might actually have, what, Scourge of the, we would have Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, let's just say it's Destiny 2 chronological order, Leviathan, Eater of Worlds, Spire of Stars, and then what, Scourge? And that would just be 2030. So we would have those 4 raids in 2030. We would still be missing Crown of Sorrow. We would still be missing Wrath of the Machine. Like, what the fuck are they doing? And this is provided they only release revised raids, so they don't make a brand new one. And now I have a really big problem with the brand new one, because Salvation's Edge is supposed to be the hardest. It's supposed to be the final act, whatever the fuck, right? So if that's the hardest, right, and they have to make easier raids, less complicated raids, because they're not fighting the Witness, that, like, end all be all, unless we fight the Windwower or whatever the fuck, then are we gonna get Root of Nightmares 2? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, we're getting less people working on shit, we're getting less communication as years go on, and the same problems are still there in Destiny. There's still balancing problems, there's still class issues, there's still microtransaction bullshit where we're dealing with needing to pay for transmog, one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in any video game ever. Actually worse than currency shaders. Really dumb. I don't even know why that's still in the game. That should have been like top 5 things you need to fix in Destiny. Make transmog earnable and free in game, you know? And the prices are ridiculous. It's like $3 for one transmog piece of armor Canadian. Insane. On top of all this, there's been no word of any sort of media, you know, and I mainly mean like movies, shows, stuff like that. I believe there was rumors a long time ago about a Destiny movie, maybe 2-3 years ago. Could be longer at this point, but we've heard nothing, right? And I'm not saying this isn't like movies and shows define a game, right? But normally 10 years into your game, you get some sort of confirmation that there's a movie or a show being made or whatever. Five Nights at Freddy's, super popular, has its show. Fucking World of Warcraft, I think had some sort of show, I can't even remember. Even fucking Dota 2 has a show. You know, League of Legends has a show. All these popular games that have stood the test of time all have shows or are getting media. Borderlands is getting a fucking movie, you know? And even if it's bad, at least it's a sign, okay, they have enough money to do this. Okay, they're getting enough funding to do this through the players. I don't even know if that's happening anymore. I don't even know how profitable Destiny 2 is in Bungie's brain. I don't even know if Bungie wants to continue developing. I've heard these rumors of, like, the leads are planning on making Marathon, no Destiny 3, and just basically squeeze the rest of the juice out of Destiny 2 until it's completely dry, and then cut servers. Marathon's the new thing, you know? Obviously just rumors, but it's a problem when those rumors are being spread amongst the community, and most of the community is, like, noticing this. When I play raids, people talk about these rumors, and I'm an LFGer. This is like, I get 6 random people together, 4 of them know of a rumor, yeah, Destiny's gonna die next year, you know? And maybe it's not that common, but I'm just saying that's my experience. But yeah, big problem there. The smaller team is kind of concerning because it feels like every year we're going in Destiny, it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So next year we're looking at probably half of what we have now, which is probably 10 people, let's be honest. Not actually, but you know what I mean. The main issue though is that what is the game like? Last year, at least we could say, well, there's the final shape, and then we can figure out what happens after that. This year, okay, final shape's over. Where is Destiny in the next 5 years? And in my honest opinion, I think nowhere. I don't think we have like a future for Destiny, you know? And I love the game. I don't hate the game at all. And I want the game to succeed. But at this point, it seems like the devs and the leadership are just so disconnected that we're never going to get the issues solved that need to be solved. And we're just going to get the same shit. Like, every single 2-3 years, they've been trying to peddle this new seasonal model with the battle pass and everything. And it's just the same shit, just called something different. You know, we had, what was it? We had, Black Armory, Gambit Prime, and fucking Opulence or whatever. That's effectively their seasonal model. And then they just moved into straight up seasons with battle passes and everything. Okay, that's fine. And now we're into episodes. It's the same thing. It's all a seasonal thing. Just stop calling it a different thing, you know? Or echoes, or whatever the fuck they're called. We're just still in seasons, you know? And it just sucks to see. There's just no change other than the name of the thing. That's pretty much it. Prices are going up, which is another concerning thing. I don't see many games, even nowadays, you know, raise their prices unless we're talking AAA, like a Call of Duty, like a... I don't even know, what's another game? Maybe a World of Warcraft? I don't know. You can let me know if I'm completely dead wrong in the comments, but personally, you know, those are the only 2 games that I can think of off the top of my head that's raised prices based off inflation. Really, really fucking concerned about that. And Bungie isn't what they used to be, and it's just sad. It's no longer like, yeah, you know, those people who made Halo Reach and those people who made Halo 3, the people working on the game now probably aren't even close to the same people. And I know you might see a name, this person got laid off, this person was on the Halo Reach team, whatever. It is very possible that they just don't care about Destiny, they don't care about the direction, or they don't care about the leadership, and they just need out. You know, it's not like when you're in a game company that everything is sunshine and rainbow if you make one golden game. Like, it's not like everyone in Helldivers 2 is this fucking saint, you know what I mean? There's bound to be some bad apples, and there's bound to be a direction. Let's say Helldivers 2 makes a fucking tower defense game. There's bound to be some people to be like, you know what, I'm 2 years into this tower defense game, I'm just not feeling it anymore, I don't have any passion for this anymore, and they dip. You know, or they need to be let go because they just don't want to work on the game, but they're given a decent paycheck, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just very concerning things overall with these rumors, where Destiny's at, and how many years it's been going on. And personally, me, every single year I'm noticing I just play less and less and less. I think the first year in Destiny 2, I genuinely had like 3,000, maybe 4,000 hours. I almost have 8,000 hours total today, and it's been 8 years, you know what I mean? So I haven't been playing nearly as much. There's been dips where I haven't been playing it as frequently, but it's just sad to see, you know? But I think it's just time we look at it objectively, under an objective lens, and realize, hey, you know, Destiny 2 is just going to die, and it's just a matter of what year. I don't think it's this year. I don't think next year, but I do think in 2026, when there's going to be steeper competition as far as looter shooters, because I do think it's an untapped gaming genre. But just as a quick example, an indie game? I don't know if they're an indie game or like how you say it, AA, I guess. Developer who made First Descendant. First Descendant might not be perfect, you know what I mean? Haven't played it, looks cool, but I've heard a lot of the things with you know, it being free to play and needing to buy stuff in the game, blah 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 blah, right? It's not perfect, but it's a start. And if a AA game or an indie game company can make something like First Descendant and make it last a couple of years, I don't even know what a AAA could do, you know what I mean? A AAA could fucking, Borderlands 4 could be the next fucking, you know, Half-Life 2, you know what I mean? Where everyone plays it, game of the decade, you know? Obviously, I'm dreaming in a perfect world, but I'm just saying, the engines are getting better, game engines are getting better, steeper competitions are going to be coming out, and eventually Destiny 2 is going to be known as that space shooter that lasted 10 years, you know? And it just sucks. It really sucks as a Destiny fan. I hope Bungie can get a hold of this game and, you know, really drive home that Destiny is a franchise they want to last for decades upon decades. But it seems like we're reaching the end of our rope here, and it's about time that we start playing different games, you know? Maybe that new Elden Ring DLC caught your eye. Maybe you want to go back to some old games like the Borderlands games, because those were classic looter shooters. But either way, I think it's time we just all evolve and we all start moving on. It's just no longer worth their squeeze, I think, for me, and I think many others share the same opinion. You're free to disagree. Maybe you think I'm dead wrong. Maybe you think I'm completely incorrect. Maybe you think I'm just some cope-addicted Destiny 2 player, that there's nothing wrong with the game, and I'm the only one discussing these issues with the game. But outside of that, if that's you, feel free to comment down below. If not, feel free to like, comment. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. But with all that being said, as always, I hope you have a good day.